Nikita Kaso was once considered a model student, a high achiever with a spotless attendance record. But today, the 17-year-old is at the center of a chilling case that has left prosecutors and investigators unraveling a disturbing series of events. Authorities say Kaso lived in his home with the bodies of his mother and stepfather for nearly 2 weeks before setting off on a cross-country trip in his stepfather's stolen SUV. He was finally tracked down over 900 miles away in Kansas, where he was arrested alongside the family dog and a handgun that could be the key to this case. It all started on February 28th, when Don Meyer's mother, calling from her home in Massachusetts, requested a welfare check. She had been receiving text messages from her son that didn't sit right with her. Concerned, she reached out to law enforcement in Wisconsin to check on him. But what deputies found inside the Waukesha home was far worse than anyone could have imagined. Both Don Meyer and his wife, Nikita Kaso, were dead. Meyer had been shot execution-style in the back of the head. Tatiana suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the torso, and another, at close range, to her neck. But one person was missing from the crime scene: Tatiana's 17-year-old son, Nikita Kaso. At first, investigators weren't sure what to make of his absence. But then, neighbors came forward, saying they saw Nikita driving away in his stepfather's 2018 Volkswagen Atlas. That raised immediate concerns, especially since Kaso didn't even have a valid driver's license. A deeper look into Kaso's school records painted an unsettling picture. Up until 2 weeks before the murders, he had been a perfect student, so much so that he had once been named Student of the Month for his strong work ethic. But then, he suddenly stopped showing up. His unexplained absence alarmed school officials, who had already requested a welfare check before the bodies were even discovered. Now the search for Kaso was on. Investigators tracked his parents' cell phones and followed a signal leading to Cheyenne, Wyoming. But by the time law enforcement caught up, Kaso had already moved on. His final stop? Kansas. That's where officers finally located him, behind the wheel of his stepfather's vehicle, the family dog in the passenger seat. But it was what was inside the car that sent up red flags. In plain sight, officers found a Smith & Wesson .357 Magnum, the same make and model of a gun, missing from his stepfather's home. At this point, you'd think the murder charges would come swiftly, but surprisingly, prosecutors have only charged Kaso with unauthorized use of a vehicle and possession of a firearm. So, what's the holdup? Legal experts say prosecutors are likely building an airtight case before filing homicide charges. They may be waiting for forensic results, ballistics, fingerprints, or DNA to conclusively link Kaso to the murders. In court, prosecutors assured the judge that those charges are imminent. But the defense isn't backing down. In a surprising move, Kaso's attorney pushed for a complete dismissal of the current charges, arguing that there's no direct proof that Kaso took the car and gun without permission. The only person who could confirm or deny that, Don Meyer, is dead. Still, the judge wasn't convinced. He ruled that the case would move forward, and Kaso remains in custody on a $250,000 bond. So, what really happened inside that Waukesha home? Did this once promising student turn into a cold-blooded killer? Or is there more to the story that has yet to come to light? With prosecutors promising more charges soon, the next chapter in this case is about to unfold. And when it does, it could finally provide the answers to a case that has left an entire community in shock.